Hi guys!
Hello!
Week 13 update.
We started the week in Seoul, but we're currently in Nampodong, which is in Busan,
Yeah, South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah.
So behind us you can see the lanterns for Buddha's, I guess, birthday coming up. And a really neat area where you can walk around and get lots of street food. And so, yeah, we started the week in Seoul, and we got to see the Demilitarized Zone, the DMZ. It was a really fascinating tour that we did, where we got to drive on a bus tour to the DMZ. We got to look out and see the other side. We got to see North Korea. Got to see the two large flags, North Korea on the left side, South Korea on the right side, just flapping in the wind. North Korea is very mountainous, very beautiful background. It was a very strange feeling looking at it, in that in some ways it looked artificial, but not in a bad way, just in a very different, somber way. Yeah, and so, but it was very beautiful, and it was just something different to see.
And I think what was interesting was getting a lot of perspectives. There were people we had to join a tour bus, and there were some South Koreans there. So we were trying to get some ideas, perspectives from them. How do you feel about the reunification? Do you think it'll happen or not? And I think the overall consensus is a lot of people are very hopeful, and they do want to rejoin. Not everyone. So it's been interesting hearing the differences of opinions,
Yeah.
but that's the overall sentiment that people have.
And there's a general feeling of sadness that there is like a separation.
But
Yeah.
I guess another theme or idea that people were saying was it won't happen anytime soon, nor should it. It should be a gradual process.
The coming of the minds kind of thing.
Exactly, because it's been
Yeah.
about 65 years since they were two distinct countries in effect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so we learned a bit about the Korean War from 1950 to 53. We also got to see we got to see the third tunnel that was dug underground from North Korea going into South Korea. And the purpose of these tunnels, there were 4 of them, was to invade Seoul or South Korea from underneath. So North Korea were digging these tunnels to attack, kind of sneak attack, but they were all discovered. And,
from a defector
yeah,
who gave the location.
Exactly, engineer, I think. And so they were never actually successfully used, which is good.
It was very strange walking through the tunnels as well, because you could see all of the original blasts where
Yeah.
everything was
They used TNT.
TNT, and then they also were digging by hand.
And
so.
the North Koreans would actually paint the tunnels black so that they would say they were coal mines.
And they weren't all discovered, so only 4 were discovered. But they suspect there are several
There
more.
may be more.
Yeah, but again, people are very hopeful because there are some good conversations going on, and it looks very promising.
Yeah, so in Seoul we also got to visit some really beautiful palaces from more of the ancient period. Many of them got burnt down and then rebuilt, burnt down during the Japanese colonization. In the 1900s, before World War II. And yeah, but they've been rebuilt, and Seoul's really focusing on rebuilding to show their culture and their history. So we met up with Chris and his wife, Young Kyung, and they live just outside of Busan, so we took a train out there.
Yeah, and
Or
so
sorry,
Chris,
train and bus.
I went to school with Chris years ago, and we worked together. We were great colleagues, and I haven't seen him in over 6 years. It was really awesome to catch up with him. And by the way, he's married.
Yeah.
So that was really great.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
Yeah, so it was fantastic because they just took us around the entire day. We were driving around, just exploring. So we went to a temple that just happened to be there and walked in and took a look around.
Yeah.
We went out for some great food.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah, and so yeah, and they just showed us around a couple different old palace. Yeah.
But I think it was just great to talk to someone he's been living here for 6 years. His wife is Korean, so talking to both of them was really insightful because we got a more in-depth perspective. Of course, it's just two people's experiences, but it's more than what we can gather from simply touring on our own.
Yeah, and I think we've been fortunate in the other countries we've met up with people, and I think that's something we felt was missing in Seoul.
Yeah.
Was it's really nice to get just a local's perspective, and so we were getting a bit of that. We also met up with Young Kyung's friend Do Kyung, and she was really nice.
She was so kind.
Yeah.
So we had never met this girl before, but she lives in Busan,
Yeah.
and that's where we're staying. So she said, you know what, yeah, I'll take you around, and she was just lovely. So we spent a whole evening together, again, had amazing food.
Korean
she took
barbecue.
us to a very famous bridge, the Diamond Bridge, is
Yeah,
that
Diamond
it?
Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's where scenes from Black Panther, the movie, were filmed. So, and it just lights up at night. It's quite spectacular.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's I think it's the most beautiful place we've seen where city meets beach, in that the beach doesn't look overrun or dirty. It's very beautiful, nice background. I mean, we went at night, so it would have also been nice to see during the day. But surrounded by condos, but neither the bridge nor the condos were overpowering the natural scene in the background. So it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've really enjoyed our time, and now next up we're moving to Jeju, which is the island just
For a
off
week.
of Busan.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
감사합니다.
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 Bye.
Goodbye.